back. I'm here to talk about OBE, out of body experience. Now, what happened with me happened, this is 2023. This is probably 1998 that this happened to me, where I had an out of body experience. And let me start by saying, look, um, there was no drugs involved, there was no alcohol involved, and it was just like a totally random thing. And I'm going to best describe the event that happened to me as maybe a one or two off type of deal that I had. Okay. Um, and if you experience an out of body experience or a dream that simulated one, please, by all means, comment on it and, tell me if you had the same thing. Now, what happened in my experience, and I'm going to talk about this one experience because I had two, but this one was just so nonsensical that it's like, why? You know what I mean? So, and today is Friday the 13th, October, um, Friday the 13th, 2023. So this is perfect for this month, perfect for Halloween and everything else. So let me get to it. So I come home from work. I was working at the law firm, in Washington, D.C. We had a house in Maryland where this happened at. Basically, when I came home from work, it was the typical, you detox from the day because I had a commute. It was like on the way home, I'm detoxing from the work day and so forth. And I'm kind of old school. What happens at work, stay at work. I try to get it all out of my system. Whether it was a good day, whether it was a bad day, it didn't matter. I didn't want to talk about it. It was just part of the job, you know. And I was with my ex wife at this point. Okay. So I didn't have anything weird for dinner or nothing like that. I didn't have no mushrooms, didn't smoke no joint, didn't, have alcohol, nothing of the sort. Okay. So I have a pattern when I come home. I tried to put my wallet and my keys in the same area. So whenever I get up in the morning, I'm trying to find everything at one time and I'm out the door. I'm pretty much pre programmed. My wallet is here, my keys are here, you know. At the time, I had one of those, what they call a castle card. That was the actual manufacturer of the card that you would scan to get into the door and so forth. So, because usually I would get there early enough where the doors were already locked and so forth, and obviously I had keys to my own office, but I needed that castle card to get to the main door. As a matter of fact, going into my office, you had to have the castle card to open up the first door. You had to have keys to open up, my office door. So that's all with that. So I'm at home, normal night, had dinner, you know, talked to the kids, basically, the ex-wife came home. She talked about her job, whatever, and it was a normal night. Um, Went to bed. You know, she was on one side of the bed. I was on the other side of the bed. So I was sleeping normal, I presume. And what happened? It was maybe about 2:30ish in the morning. I usually get up at like 4 in the morning anyway, and I don't sleep a lot as in terms of length of time because I can sleep like anywhere between 4 to 6 hours a night or whatever, which is not unusual for me. So you could say, well, maybe he didn't sleep long enough and all of this happened or whatever. So before I went to bed, I didn't know where my wallet was. I didn't know where I put it. And I'm thinking, like, I didn't want to go to bed without actually knowing where my wallet was, but then I gave up. I mean, because, it's a 3 level townhouse. I didn't feel like looking through all of that, before I went to bed. And then, life catches up with you. The kids are doing something, the missus want to talk about something, whatever else. Things are, it's a typical day in the Baldwin house at that point. So what happened was when I went to bed, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to find that wallet in the morning or whatever. So it's like 2:30ish in the morning. I wake up, everything was off, the TV was off, the room was dark, everything else. So I'm getting up from the bed, okay? In the master bedroom, there was carpet. Then when you come out of the master bedroom, there's carpet on the floors, to the bedrooms. But then when you get into the main part of the house, there's hardwood floors, carpet in some places, a rug here on the hardwood floor, so forth, so on. Dining room, kitchen, all hardwood. Well, basically hardwood, laminate floor, whatever. Then the basement, carpeted down there, which was kind of idiotic, but it was. So that gives you the idea of the 3 level townhouse. So I'm up and I'm going to the stairs and I'm like trying to turn on the light. I was like, hell, is the power out? And then I realized I just touched that light switch and it's not coming on. And then I'm touching it. And this is a serious story, folks. I mean, I'm not BSing you when I'm talking about this, okay? I literally touched the damn wall and my hand was kind of going through the wall a little bit. So in my mind, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this wall? So I was like, that's weird. So as I'm going down the steps, I'm not feeling the steps. It felt like I was floating. And y'all gonna be like, alright, this Negro's crazy or whatever. But I'm being dead serious. So this is called astral projection. Astral, that is ASTRAL. Projection. Okay? I didn't see no cord connecting anything to my body, my physical body, laying in the bed. I'll get to that part because at this point I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I'm walking or floating down the stairs, but I'm in the process of walking down the stairs. And I'm like, why am I not feeling this carpet? I can't cut on the lights. I'm not feeling this carpet. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking like, why can't I'm seeing clear. And I usually wear glasses, so I'm seeing like shit that I'd never seen. It was like, you can almost see like the elements coming together. It's almost like some weird, you know, role playing dream or whatever. Did I see any angels or anything like that? No, I did not. Because at this point, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And when I realized that I could actually float and I'm seeing through stuff, I went back upstairs And I looked in the kids' rooms just to make sure everything was all right. I saw them sleeping, you know. I'm like, and they was knocked out, sleeping. One was under the covers, one was over top of the covers, whatever. And I go back into the bedroom. I'm seeing my ex-wife. She's knocked out. I'm seeing myself in the bed, knocked out. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So the first thing I started thinking, that I'd like die? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, am I dead over there? And then I heard myself snoring. I was like, okay, I'm still breathing. Why the fuck am I looking at myself sleeping over there? So, and I was sound asleep too. I was like, trying to touch myself or whatever. I was like, I was knocked the fuck out, man. So, I was like, well, this is interesting. Since I can do all of this, let me mess around with this a little bit. Let's start off by trying to see where the fuck my wallet is. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hell, what difference does it make? At least I'll know where it is if I'm going to heaven, hell, or wherever. So I go back downstairs and I realize that I'm actually floating. Okay? I go in the kitchen and I look beside the toaster. There's my wallet. I was like, I'd be damned. It's sitting right there. So I was like, I wonder, can I see outside or whatever? So I go for the front door. I can't open the bitch. I can't even touch it. I can't even feel it. And we had 3 locks on the door. Obviously, the main doorknob, then the actual double locks that's there, the bolt lock, and then we had the chain lock. And I couldn't open near one of them. And I went through the door, looked outside. I can see the cars. I could see, up and down the street. Perfectly clear skies. The moon was out, everything, But it was so clear. I mean, it was like almost like a movie in hell. Maybe it was in my mind. I don't know what the hell was going on. But I know I was physically, spiritually outside of my body. You could say that I may have had some hallucinogen in the food that I ate that night or whatever. Um, so I'm walking around or floating around. I'm like, okay, let me test out some of this stuff. I'm like trying to push the walls and do all of this stuff that I, you know, physically not supposed to be able to do. I can look through stuff. I didn't bother going over to my neighbor's house to see them sleeping or whatever because that didn't come to my mind because I was like, well, the only thing I was focused on was getting my wallet. But then I was like, well, while I'm in this state, let me see what the hell can I actually do, you know? I couldn't grab anything. I couldn't touch anything. I could see everything clear even though it was dark, you know? I felt like I had this luminescence around me to a degree. It wasn't like it was bright like a ghost or nothing like that, but I just felt light, okay? And I remember hearing stories years before that about, you know, people have this cord either attached to their stomach or attached to their head to their physical body. I didn't see none of that, okay? So I went back upstairs. I was like, there's nothing else I could do. I went back upstairs. I was floating over top of the bed, looking down. So like I'm asleep, you know, I'm sleeping like this, you know. Matter of fact, was I? Yeah, I was just like this, like knocked out, and I'm looking down like this, and then I just floated back down into my body. I woke up, I'm breathing like this, and I'm like, I looked at the clock, it was like 3 o'clock. So for basically like 30 minutes, I was in this state. So could that have been like I may have stopped breathing in between these periods and then it triggered my mind into this state? Could have been that, some higher power, and I ain't talking about WWE and no Vince McMahon or nothing like that, that could have put me into this state where look at how much stuff that you don't know about. Could I have been demonically possessed? Is there a scientific explanation of what I went through? Okay. So when I woke up, it was 3 o'clock. First thing I did, I got up, went downstairs. There was my wallet. I got my wallet, brought it back upstairs, and I'm like, it's almost a waste of time for me to truly go back to sleep if I have to get up in an hour anyway. I know it's not spectacular. It was spectacular, the event, but I didn't do anything spectacular while I was in this state. I was just like, it's the weirdest thing that, I could ever go through. Was I scared? No. Did I feel like I was in control? Mostly. Could I touch and feel anything? Not at all. But I felt like it's a weird feeling. I felt like I had so much power, but I didn't have total use of the state that I was in. It was like literally kind of like you think about what is it, the Christmas Story where you see the three ghosts, past, present, and future. They just take you to an event that's happening. You see everything that's going on, but you can't touch anything. You can't call out anybody or nothing like that. You can talk, you can do, but they can't hear you, and they can't see you, and they can't feel you. That's the state that I felt like I was in. Weirdest thing ever. That was my out of body experience. And astral projection. That was the form that I had. No cord, no nothing. Knew what was going on around me. Found my wallet. Weirdest damn thing. Did you have one? Did you know anybody else that had one? And this happened probably, like I said, 1998-ish, maybe 97, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if I'm full of it or what your experience was. And hey, I figure I'd do a video on it. I have nothing to hide. It be's what it is. All right, so that's my story. What's yours? Until the next video.